Oh boy, they finally cracked it. Moderna came up with a COVID vaccine. Yeah, that's science, guys. That's science. In 2025, Moderna came up with a COVID-19 vaccine, is it? Oh, no, but this one is so much better because this is a 2-in-1 flu and COVID jab passes advanced trials. And if it passed those advanced trials, you know it's good. So yeah, drug company, there you have our buddy here getting his one. Drug company Moderna says it combined flu and vaccine and COVID vaccine, which targets 2 diseases in a single shot, has passed a vital part of final stage scientific check. And this is coming from a reliable source. This is coming from the BBC. So I know I want to get this myself. I want to get at least 3 or 5 of these, but you have to be generous. You shouldn't be greedy and have all of the vaccines yourself. No. That's, be generous with your fellow person. Yeah. And get maybe 2 or 3 of these. Leave some for others. Folks, as always, if you want to learn more about realistic survival and preparedness, I suggest you subscribe to the channel and get my books, Surviving the Economic Collapse, 3 Survival Skills, which, by the way, I just found out that in my Spanish versions of these same books, this is the best-selling survival book in Spanish. This is the second best-selling survival book in Spanish. And you know what? There's something that it was not the first version I came up with. I originally wrote everything in English because I just thought there was not enough market interest. And it was true back in the day. But, the world keeps on changing and super glad about that. Anyway, one of the things I get the most positive feedback from giving the content that I do is from people that were going through this back in the day. And it is sad to realize that a lot of my followers in the United States did not have the option of saying no because they would have lost their jobs. Now, I'm telling you something that I think is fascinating. There's a massive difference between the people that had no other option but to get this crap in their veins and people that had. In general, in many of the Spanish-speaking countries, you did have the option of saying no. Specifically in Spain, it is against the Constitution to force you to get this thing into your veins, right? And the same goes for many Spanish-speaking South American countries. So there was a lot of people that were following my channel and giving my non-medical advice, simply common sense approach. They decided that maybe, you know what, this is not for me right now. I'd rather wait. And as we all waited, we saw how the COVID-19 vaccine was 100% effective. There was 99. There was 80% effective. There was 70 and 60 a few months later. And a year later, it was about 40, 50, 30. Then it was just as good as natural immunity. And finally, the same people that make these things say that natural immunity is maybe a little bit better. Yeah, so there you go. You don't know how many messages I got from Fernando. I want to say thank you because I got a lot of crap from my family, from my loved ones because I didn't get it. And then my loved ones, my uncle, my parents, my siblings, whatever, they started having strokes. They started having parts of their body breaking down. Someone losing an eye. Someone ending up with cardiovascular diseases for the rest of their lives. So thank you for showing me that things were not exactly as they were telling us. Now it is the same bullshit all over again. This is from the BBC, and this is what they're telling you to do. Yeah, I definitely want to get a few of these. I would be okay with maybe 1 or 2. If I could get 3, I would be all right. Yeah, that's definitely the thing I want to get. Because if there's something we all know is super important, is to get your seasonal shots for flu. It's not as if flu actually happens every single time. It's not as if my brother used to get the flu shot until he realized that every fucking time I get it, I end up in bed for a couple days. So he decided to not do it anymore. And you know what happened? Well, nothing. He actually didn't end up in bed for a couple days with flu symptoms for the shot that he got. And he was okay. So after years and years of getting it every year and doing obviously nothing for him, when he stops getting it, he starts not getting the flu he was injecting, of course, so has to have that reaction too. And maybe your body at this point knows how to deal with damn flu as long as you're just a little bit lucky and somewhat of a healthy adult. Well, yeah, It's not my opinion. This is what guys like David Jones, a man that spent his entire life in the U.S. military actually training others for nuclear, biological, and chemical warfare, told us when years ago he said, you don't have to get this flu shot. Why would you? There's the flu floating around exactly at the time when it's everywhere. Well, you will make your own natural immunity. And if you get the flu, so what? Statistically speaking, I mean, there's a lot of people that unfortunately don't deal with it very well. But statistically speaking, as long as you're a healthy adult, there's a very good chance that you will be just fine. And I have some important questions about how good it is for people that are not exactly all that healthy either. I don't trust these people, and neither should you. The Moderna and Pfizers of the world are some of the most corrupt businesses in planet Earth. Says not me, says the amount of lawsuits that they have, says the amount of lawsuits that they've lost, not only that they've had, which is worse than any other industry in planet Earth. That says everything you need to know. But hey, yeah, go get yours. Yeah, you definitely want to get that stuff. Folks, prepare, learn about this stuff, realize that survival and preparedness is way more than just starting fires and carrying a firearm of one kind or another. It is about awareness, not just about awareness on the street. Security is about awareness for all of the threats that we're constantly facing. And trust me, these lobbies, they are a lot more of a threat than zombies or aliens. See you next time. Take care.